10 questions the Houston Rockets will need to answer this season. Let's get to it. I got my boy Vince Miracle to answer these 10 questions. Will Kevin Porter Jr. become a winning point guard or just an empty calorie player?
I think he is going to be a six-man type of player moving forward. I don't think he's going to be an empty calorie player, but I also don't think he's starting point guard material. I think he's more of a, if at best case scenario in my mind, he's Jordan Clarkson.
That's disgusting. I disagree heavily. I disagree heavily because Kevin Porter Jr. is as talented as any young and upcoming star. Whether or not that comes to fruition, like he executes it, his talent is just off the charts. There's nothing he can do on a basketball court, which is why I'm so high on him, which is why I think this potential duo of Jalen Green and KPJ will be lethal for many years to come. So I'm going to say...
How do I insult him, though? I mean, I think Jordan Clarkson just won Sixth Man of the Year. He is gross. Jordan Clarkson can be a start on so many teams. Jordan Clarkson is nasty.
No, he can't.
Nasty.
Who's he starting on team?
Like he's not a starting point guard.
No, like to me, Jordan Clarkson doesn't have point guard skills, and KPJ does. Jordan Clarkson has to be in the right situation, like the Utah Jazz, to make that type of an impact. Because if he's not, he's a reckless basketball player, and we've seen it for far too long.
You put him on the Sixers in front. He starts above Steph Curry. I'm telling you that right now.
I think he comes off the bench just because that is his best role. That's what he is, a microwave scorer. I'm not mad at the idea. Like that, it's all about role optimization to me. Like, to me, it's all about role optimization. Whether or not he becomes a winning point guard, I don't know. But I don't think his stats will be empty in the way that, say, DMC's stats are empty. I know that's taking a shot, but I just think KPJ provides so much value on the court from Yeah, okay. So
we agree. It's just I don't think it's starting caliber. I think it's six man. I'm just saying, like at his peak, he's like a Jordan Clarkson, where he's going to come off the bench and give you exactly what you need.
All right. Well, let's see what the people say. At number 2, will Jalen Green win Rookie of the Year, and will it translate to wins for the Rockets?
Will Jalen Green win Rookie of the Year? I say yes. I think he's going to create a lot of highlights. I think he's going to be scoring a lot of buckets. Now, does that result in wins? Hell no. That ain't happening. Especially with John Wall now not playing. And people forget that he's already requested a trade. He's not going to be playing for the Rockets until they find a spot for him. So with this roster, do you really think Jalen Green and Christian Wood, Kenny Martin Jr., Kevin Porter Jr., like that's not really a winning scenario roster for me. That's a team that like on any given night can get hot. They look really good in the first half, but then when defense starts picking up, a downhill motion comes. You know what I mean? So I say it doesn't result in a lot of wins, but I also don't think Cade Cunningham is going to get a lot of wins. I think it's actually going to be a 3-man race. I definitely think people are going to be sleeping on Evan Mobley. I think he is a stud, and if they can find a way to really make Jared Allen and Mobley work together. Yep. I keep saying Mobley work together. I think that 1-2 punch at the center power forward position could be gross out there in Cleveland, because I love Sexton and Garland. So Sexton is real to me. I like those two, but when it comes to Houston, no, I don't think it results in wins, but I do think Jalen Green creates enough highlights to where he wins Rookie of the Year.
At number 3, how do you involve John Wall to this roster if you can't trade him, Vince?
I mean, you use him in the same exact way any other team would use John Wall, right? Like he's a point guard that runs the position well. He's a great passer. You're gonna look for him to use a lot of pick and rolls. I think Kevin Porter Jr. I think Jalen Green is a good shooter, so he's gonna knock down buckets. I honestly think a combo of Wall and Green could work. Like I really do think it could work. I think people still are sleeping on how good John Wall was. Is he the same John Wall? Absolutely not. Is he worth the money that he is? Absolutely not. But John Wall, coming off those injuries and still doing what he did last season, was a good basketball player and actually a decent defender. Not a good defender, still decent, still opening up those cobwebs, right, cleaning them all out. But I think it's a lot of pick and roll. I think it's a lot of drive and kick, and you really have to hope Jalen Green is that shooter that he is, and that everybody else can make buckets. I think the biggest question, and I know it's going to be down here on this list here, is how good is Christian Wood? Is he
Right.
worth everything that you paid for? And I mean, I'll wait till those questions come up. But like John Wall fits. I just don't think he's playing. I think he's definitely going to sit out until he's straight. I think Houston would rather have that situation and I think they're going to get I think they're not going to get first round pick for him. I think they're going to get a lot of seconds.
Well, that's the next question. Does Christian Wood take the next step and become an all-star?
Well, I mean, I'll let you answer that one first.
He was super borderline to me, right? He was right there before he got injured. They were super competitive. As soon as he went down, they went on like, what was it? Like a 18-game losing streak or something crazy like that. I forget. The point is, it was a lot of losses. To me, he is that good. I don't think they paid a lot for him. They got him on a cheap. It was a short-term deal. He's going to get paid on his next deal. Whether or not he stays there is a different question. But I believe next season, he's a guy that's going to average 20 and 10. If it's 22 and 13, I don't know. But it's going to be somewhere 20 and 10 type of guy. Whether or not that's an empty calorie stats. And by that, I mean, will it translate to wins? Probably not. I think they're going to be super exciting to watch. And they're going to make a lot of strides in the right direction. But in terms of wins, I'm not high on that. But I am high on his potential and him being the future big or like that future asset that the Rockets can rely on.
I still don't know. You know what I mean? I've seen him put up a lot of good stats. We saw how good he could be when healthy. You know, like he has
everything in his game.
He has the skill to do it. My thing is he did that a lot with John Wall. John Wall was setting him up in a lot of those spots where he could do the pick and pop, where he was able to show you a spin move. Like that drive, getting that on the high post, like right above the free throw line, spin move, inside left hand finish, jumper from three. Who is that passer for them? I'm assuming you're saying it's going to be Kevin Porter Jr. Or Jalen Green. I don't know. I think wins are going to come into consideration here because you still have other guys that are now going to be taking on the mantle of a power forward, I think, this season, right? Like you have guys, let's say, for example, like big man is just going to be the name of it. And you're going to have guys like, I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to play the 3-4 spot for the Nuggets. Is Marvin Bagley going to take the next step? I'm only saying that because this is a Kings podcast. We both know the answer to that question, honestly. You know what I mean? But there's guys out there in the West where they're going to be fighting for that big man spot. I don't know if there's room for him there. So that's where I'm drawing my blanks. So is he going to be an all-star? I don't know. I think he's going to stay borderline. I think where he goes next is going to go back. I think he's going to go out east. And I think that's where he would be back. Honestly, man, I want him back to Detroit. I think him and Kate Cunningham could be gross.
That'd be a great combination there. And the whole thing about making an actual all-star game, it's dope. It's dope. Like De'Aaron Fox, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to me are all-stars, and they didn't make the all-star team last year. So it's more of, are you playing at an all-star level? I believe Christian was playing at that level before he got injured. So to me, that question is, can he continue and take that step forward and be that reliable asset, that reliable player for the Rockets? I believe he can. So yes, will it become an actual all-star where he makes the game? Probably not, but he will be playing at an all-star level if he doesn't get hurt, which leads to number 5. Will Alperen Sengun make an immediate impact on the Rockets? I'll take this right off the bat. I'm super high on Sengun. We're dropping the Sengun video. I don't know if this is coming out first or Sengun video is coming first. But the point is, if you know me and you follow me, I'm super high on Sengun, and I think his defense will improve. Sengun will be a guy that's going to average 20 and 10 in his career. Whether he does it this year or not, I don't think he will this year because there is a guy that's going to take a lot of those stats, and that's Christian Wood. But playing with that type of dynamic and learning from a guy like Wood who has started from the bottom, literally playing at UNLV, FUNLV, by the way, and just watching him develop overall, and now Sengun can learn from just the little things, the small nuances that we sometimes don't understand or see, and he can learn. And he's already so gifted and so productive at such a young age. And the Rockets they're known to develop great big men, right? Like Yao Ming, Hakeem Olajuwon, even guys like Montrezl Harrell, and what's his name from the Hawks, Clint Capella, right? Yes, they didn't stay, but most of some of their development started with the Rockets, so they know what the hell they're doing with big men. And again, Christian Wood took another step last year. They know how to develop big guys, which is why I'm saying that Sengun will make an impact in year one.
Yeah, I mean, I think if best case scenario of what they have, if they can keep Wood and Sengun, like you're really high on Sengun. Like you were the one who put me on his radar. If I'm being 100% off, right, right before draft season, and you and I were talking, and this was a guy that you're like, hey, bro, if he's there at 9, the
he's a bonus. Like at worst, he's a bonus to me.
Right. So I'm glad you said that, because could this duo be the 2.0 version of Miles Turner and Sabonis? And I think best case scenario, that is. I mean, if Sengun can hit the three with the consistency that he's shown overseas, that footwork is disgusting. I think he can come in and be an automatic facilitator for you from the high post. Yep. I think he's a really good passer. And if Christian Wood can knock down those threes, as well as being a driver and a dunker and the shot blocker that he was,
is he a good defender though? I mean, that's my question to you with Wood is like, can he be that weak side? And that's my point to why I don't know if it'll work defensively.
He's a help side defender. That's it.
Right. And Sengun isn't a great defender in his own right, so that's where I'm, kind of.
That's where development comes in, though, right? You said that Houston's developing. That's what I'm saying. If this is a 3 to 5 year plan, you can't look at this and say next year Houston is a play-in potential type of team. Like, they could blow us all away. Jalen Green could be a superstar, and we can be like, damn, that's the next Dwayne Wade. That's the next this guy, right? This athleticism is ridiculous. He does so many different things. I don't think he's a facilitator for it. I think they definitely need a facilitator there. They need a point guard. I think Anthony Melton, take him away from Memphis, I think he fits there. But they need someone of that caliber to be there, someone that can just really hold down that point guard spot and move that ball around. Even an Ish Smith, in my opinion, would work. But 2.0, 3 to 5 years, maybe. I mean, I just don't think it results into wins. And I don't know if Christian Wood becomes an all-star, but fantasy-wise, man, if we're talking about fantasy basketball, you guys know me. I've been covering fantasy basketball for a long time. All my other places that I've been, Christian Wood's that man.
He is that man for sure. But touching on the whole defensive aspect, they went out and they had one of the best drafts I've ever seen, and they drafted my other guy, Usman Garuba. And the question is, can Usman Garuba crack the rotation and impact his team defensively? Because Usman Garuba is arguably the best defensive player in this year's class. And yes, Davion Mitchell is included in there. But I just think overall, he's just so ready, and at such a young age, he made Real Madrid so much better defensively, and he's been in that system like Luka Doncic. Can he come in, make an impact defensively, and be that Robin per se to Sengun or to Wood defensively? Like because both of those guys are offensive oriented, and Garuba is literally a defensive rock. Like, he is a foundational piece defensively.
I think he's just too raw. He's just a raw character. I mean, he still has a lot to show. Now, does he crack the rotation this year? I think you and I both agree, and it's going to be a question that comes up here at the end. Win total wise isn't the outlook for Houston this year. That's not what they're shooting for. They're trying to see what are we building? Yep. What's a rock here? What's rock? What's sand? Right. They're trying to figure that part out. And if the defense is really there, I think worst case scenario, they can have a Tradable on their hands in their first year, which is someone that comes in there in certain scenarios and has a couple of good games, gets you 1.5 steals. Hey, man, that's solid to have. It's just, I think he's still so raw as an actual player, and building up to NBA speed is going to take some time. But you have a lot of guys that are going to push you in practice. That pace in practice in Houston is going to be fast with those young guards, and even with Sengun and with Christian Wood. Like, that team is going to move quick. And so he's gonna have to pick it up quick in practice. So who knows? It can happen a lot faster than we all think. But as of right now, I say no.
And some of those guys are Danuel House and Jae'Sean Tate, right? Which is my next question, question number 7. Would Danuel House and Jae'Sean Tate become very good tradable players at the deadline? And by that, I mean, can they develop their games to where there is a team that says, I'll take John Wall if I can get this piece because I think Tate or House can help me win some games during the playoffs as rotational, actual, 8th, 7th man guys, pieces off the bench.
100%. Jae'Sean Tate is my guy. That is exactly what you want from that's Avery Bradley. That's I'm not saying I get Avery Bradley at one point was like the shiznit, right? Like he was really good at one point. But I'm just saying, Jae'Sean Tate is Avery Bradley, bro. He can score the three. He can drive and finish hard. He's not afraid of contact, and he plays hard.
I love that kid.
I love Jae'Sean Tate. I'm a huge fan of Jae'Sean Tate. Now, Danuel House is Danuel House, man. Like, he's everything Ben McLemore wants to be. He's a shooter. He can do little things from the power forward spot. He's super athletic. I think if you package those 3 players together, you're getting something decent in return. Nothing great. You're not getting nothing great. The contracts have to mesh up correctly, but like Tate is the asset that you want out of those names. Tate is young. His defense is there. He's athletic. He loves the contact. Again, it's just that defense, man. He's exactly what you want, especially on a playoff caliber team. You tell me this. Tell me you wouldn't want a lineup of Reggie Jackson, Jae'Sean Tate, and Paul George at 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I'd love that.
Dude, that defense, while you're waiting for Kawhi.
I'd love that.
I'm just saying.
So you're saying the Clippers are the team to trade for John Wall?
I mean, I don't know how the contracts work. Have to go get John Wall, but I'm just saying, like that. Honestly, yeah. If they could do it, I mean, yeah. I think John Wall is on the same level as Reggie Bullock, but better as a passer. So I think he makes more sense there with what they have there. John Wall isn't the John Wall we had before. Like, everyone has to stop thinking of John Wall as Washington John Wall. He's not that all-star. He's not that guy anymore. But he's still a distributor. He's still fast. He's a lot faster than a lot of guys in the league still, and he can still finish around the rim a little bit. So I say, yeah. I don't think they have the players to do it. But if you can get a Danuel House, Jae'Sean Tate, and John Wall, and you give up a Marcus Morris, Serge Ibaka, and something else, I mean.
Last question about Tate. Can Tate be as good as Lu Dort?
Yes.
Because Lu Dort is elite defensively.
Yeah, but I think offensively, Jae'Sean Tate's slightly better. So, I mean,
okay.
Give and take. I think Lu Dort is a supreme defender. I want to see it again, but he can't finish. Like, we thought, remember in the beginning of the year, we thought, like, whoa, damn, Dort can shoot. We were excited a little bit, right? But then it started to come to fruition. Jae'Sean Tate stayed consistent. He wasn't a premier scorer, but he knew how to get buckets when the time arrived. And I believe I think he's slightly better offensively. Defensively, I think he's slightly less than Lu Dort. So, yes. Do I think they can be on the same level? Absolutely. If you love Lu Dort, you should love Jae'Sean Tate.
Who has more pressure to perform at a high level, Jalen Green or KPJ?
You answer that first.
I think the obvious is Jalen Green, number 2 pick. Keep saying that he's the one rookie of the year, that he's motivated because he didn't go number 1. Those are the storylines right now going into the season. There's this Detroit Pistons, Houston Rockets rivalry building between the fan bases because both fan bases have been pretty petty, right? Like, no, F this guy, whatever. And I think that just creates the storylines that the NBA truly wants, right? Number 1 against number 2. But KPJ bursting onto the scene the way he did and having now real expectations, definitely he has pressure on him, but I'm going to go with Jalen Green.
Can I be honest? I'm glad you said a name because I can't. I don't think there's pressure on any of these guys. I think I really don't. I don't think Houston cares about that stuff. I don't think their fans. I think the fans know exactly what they have right now. They're in the building stages. I think they found a rock in KPJ. They think they found a stone, like a legit building stone, and Jalen Green and Christian Wood. So I mean, I don't think the pressure is there. I think they just want to see fully what they have and how good can they really be. And then the next step is how do we build around it? And is KPJ. So if I had to say an actual name, it would be KPJ because we want to know, are you really a part of the building core?
That's fair. That's why that's how I was thinking too. Like, are you like legit, right? So that makes sense.
I mean, that would probably, the pressure would probably be on KPJ just because we know for a fact we took Jalen Green number 2 because of what we saw in the G League. We have Christian Wood here. Sengun is the same exact thing. We don't really know. That's possibly trading asset, possibly building block. We don't know yet. We know that you're good. How good are you? This is the time to prove, are you a trading piece or are you a building piece? Yep. And that's, I think the pressure is more on him.
And honorable mention, Josh Christopher out of Arizona State. He had a great summer league. That could be a building piece as well. If, say, they trade a House or a Jae'Sean Tate who can step in there and play that type of role. Tough nose, 3-and-D type guy. We'll see what happens with him. But number 9, record predictions, preferred starting fives. I'm going to go with 28 and 54. And I'm going to say if John Wall stays, John Wall starts, KPJ starts, Jalen Green starts. So they'll have a 3-guard lineup, Danuel House and Christian Wood.
I have them winning 29 games.
Okay.
They definitely don't hit 30. I think it's 29 or less.
Okay.
And do you know what Vegas has them at as an over-under by chance?
I don't.
Okay, so I'm going to say 29 games. I think they have the speed to outlast a lot of teams, especially on the second round of back-to-backs. Starting lineup, though, I definitely don't think John Wall plays another game for the Rockets. So I think they're going to have Jalen Green. I think they're going to do Jae'Sean Tate, Danuel House, Christian Wood, and anybody else you want to fill in the KPJ.
Yep.
Their mainstay is going to be Tate, House, Greenwood. So whatever they fill in there is what they fill in there. It could be Kenny Martin Jr. for all I know.
There it is, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, though, please like, share, and subscribe. If you enjoy quality basketball content like podcasts, film breakdowns, and live reactions on game days, Basketball Zone provides frontline coverage of the NBA every single day. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Tell them to follow your boy, bro. At VM Center on all social media platforms.
And that's an add-on right there. And that's an add-on right there. Follow him right now. Links are in the description. The links are always in the description. Let's go.